Roberts, your Pets Ally. Hope that everyone is having a great day. And we have sorry about that. And we have some great questions. So I am going to jump right over there. If you will give me just a moment. And there we go. Boom. So, Becky, another beautiful batch of food. Some really interesting choices. I also did not know they were making chia seed oil, but that makes sense. Um, I'm glad you're glad the HTBS is back. It does make life simpler. So I wanted to ask you, baby is the spitting trim Russell sort of ish thing that she is and gorgeous, but I gotta ask you about your kitty. And I suspect your kitty is like many kitties in that she does not agree with your choices about food, but if she'll buy into the carb diet, I think you'll find she really likes it. So congratulations on all of that good stuff. Um, and Astrid, I'm sorry to hear about Gypsy. It sounds like she's having a really tough time. So definitely, if you're not using a phosphate binder, but I believe that you are, use one. And then also get some sub-Q fluids for her because that will help reduce the amount of toxins basically in her bloodstream. And so try that out. I think you are, and I apologize, I don't believe you are in the US. But if you are, we can help you get sub-Q fluids put together if you need them. But the best thing right now is offer her whatever it is that she wants to eat, because right now that's really all you can do. And Leona, the best way of reducing calories is honestly to feed less. And if you want cups to 1.3, that's actually a pretty decent reduction. That's about 0.5. So that's about 10% decrease in about 12.5% decrease in the amount of calories she's consuming. And so that's often plenty. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. So I think if you stay there, that will do two things. One is to help her lose the weight, but also help keep the weight off. And Nikki, Sissy at Dean, that is just astonishing. And I am so glad that you have been able to keep her healthy this long. Melatonin can do the opposite of what it should be doing and encourage you to pull it. And then you might also try using just a small amount of melatonin at say like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and see if that helps better or does not help better. So she's getting up and pacing the floors most of the night. Lycopause is helping, lipase is helping, Cinelife is working. So that's all good. But then at night, it's really tough. So if she's on thyroid meds once a day, switch them to the morning. If she's on twice a day, they just need to be twice a day. And there's a couple of other things you can do. If you haven't started with CBD, I definitely would. The dose you can start with is 2 milligrams and go all the way up to 50 milligrams per day. But take your time getting up there. There is, our friends at CBD Dog Health. Their products are the best. So I'm going to drop a link into their products on my website. Look for the Heal product. Because it does not have any essential herb oils in it. You can use their Calm product, which has lavender oil in it. But I think just for taste preference, I would go with the Heal product. And then the other thing you could look at is alpha lipoic acid. If you have not checked that out, we do have some links to it on the website. I'm not sure how much your baby weighs, but just we do, if you need some help, a good starting dose is 200 to 600 milligrams per day. So check that out. And then lastly, if you need to resort to drugs, then you could look at something like trazodone at night. And it is going to be quite sedative. Fluoxetine, I think, was mentioned. That can be helpful as well. And yeah, Prozac. And that can help kind of reset their circadian rhythm a little bit. And then the other thing you could consider be pituitrophin G, with the idea of getting the HPA axis back into shape. Standard process product. You can find that on the website. If you're doing Young Living, you know all about the essential oils, and I'm sure you've already been through that route. And let's see, Bridget, if your vet has not checked Ruby for exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, I would definitely do that. And then if that is normal, some form of digestive enzymes may be helpful as well. There's a ton of them out there. There are therapeutic ones for different but really what you're looking for is straight up digestive enzymes. Many of them are not therapeutic, so you could consider something that would be used but at a lower dose. Yeah, I love their CBD oil too, Pam. And they really do a great job. So Diane's for EPI, so you can check that out. I would get a test though, because if Ruby does not have exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, then that could actually end up making her sick. And then finally, try some carbohydrates. I don't remember if that had helped or hurt, but sometimes, she just may need less protein and more straight up carbs. So give that a shot. I think, let me just give this a spin. Let me make sure I haven't missed any questions. I know we've got one from Gina I need to answer. And I think, yep, that's it for this page. So let me put her here. I don't know if I talked to Chris Besant today. And for those of you that don't know, he is the founder and creator of Herbsmith. And so they have a Chinese herbal line, as well as an over-the-counter line, if you will. And so we've actually just started carrying that on the website. But for instance, there's a Shin Calmer and several herbal formulas for variety that she's created. And just they do a great job. So we'll be getting those products up on the site shortly. Gina is asking about Bella. And so in July of 21, she weighed 152. In February of 22, she weighed 142. And her local doc was looking for about 140. And she went for checkup and she weighs 125 pounds. And so she's wondering how to get her up to about 1,500 calories per day. So first thing I would say, Gina, is does Bella look really skinny? Can you see all of her ribs? Or does she look pretty healthy? And I think this is a make because um, the scale can really kind of mislead us. And so that's where it's important to, really rip back out the body condition scoring system. And for those of you that are not familiar, we do have a copy of this available in the files area, but let me show you what I'm talking about so you can get the idea. So this has been in use for, golly, probably 10, 15 years now. Well, probably more than that. And the idea is this: you want to be able to just barely see ribs. So 5 is, to me, actually is towards the heavy side. So 4, 4.5 is really ideal. And what you want to see is a waist from the side and then a waist tucked up. And one way to kind of keep track of things is to take a tape measure and measure just behind the elbow when she's standing, and then right in front of the flank, if you will, when she is standing as well. Start with that so you know where you're starting from and if you need to go up or down. But this is going to help you kind of keep an eyeball on things. What's really amazing to me is that many of my clients cannot tell the difference. They can't see that my dog's not here, it's here. And they also can't see my dog's not here, it's over here. So if that's kind of you, if you're having difficulty visually assessing what's going on with Bella, start with this, looking at the body condition scoring system and get a starting point from here. Now, if she really is skinny, then what I would suggest is bumping up either more volume of turkey, because that's at about 370 calories per meal, versus the pork one, which is about 1,290 calories per meal. So what you could do is add a little bit more fat to the turkey in terms of, um, adding a tablespoon or so of fat is going to add 120 calories. And so if you're trying to get to 1,500 calories, 735, if you're feeding it twice a day, you're really close. I mean, that's 1,435 calories in 3 cups per meal. So if you're feeding two meals per day, you're at 1,470. If you're feeding the pork twice a day, then basically, then you're feeding almost 2,600 calories, right? So you're there calorie-wise, and 1,500 calories seems a little low, perhaps. So if Bella's not super active and clear, and let's say 140 pounds really is where she should be, times say 25 calories per pound, then that's about 3,500 calories per day. So a lot of question marks, but I think the question you want to ask is she too thin? And if she is, then bump the calories up. The least expensive way to do that is to add a little more fat, or add some additional carbohydrates. So see if that helps you out some. And Gina will get you hooked up with the Facebook group as well. I think I got Nikki's question, Astrid's, Bridget's, and Rita. Rita, back in January. I'm sorry you missed all the kerfluffle, but I'm glad you're coming back into it now. I reformulated the original Crock-Pot diet to bring it up to the current AFCO standards. And what I found is that, yeah, the calcium increased dramatically. And the reason is that did all of a sudden dogs need a ton more calcium? No. But what did happen is that AFCO recognized that there is adequate like barely adequate nutrition, and then there's what is optimal to help make sure that um, our pets live as long and as healthy as they can until it's their time to go on to the next plane, whatever that is. So what you'll want to do then is add about 4,000 milligrams per 3 pounds of protein. So definitely bump that up. And I believe that's all the questions from the site. Let me make sure you all haven't popped some questions in, and it looks like we are in good shape. So that's what I've got for you this week. Next week, I've got family coming into town. So what I'm going to do is just record some answers to your questions. The video will get streamed at our normal time, but I won't be there, unfortunately, to respond to them. But I'm super excited. We've got my brother and niece and nephew and their friends coming into town for a few days. So we're super stoked about that. So until the next time, remember your pet's best health starts in the bowl. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally.